This is a brief demo to show you how the tool works. You can select a unit of measure, either feet or miles. You can select your state or province from the pull-down list, and you can also select the population size that you serve. As I mentioned before, we're collecting data with this tool. If you don't want your information to be included in the data set, simply leave the state and population fields blank and your data will not be collected. Be sure, once you have selected your units of measure and location information, to click the Proceed to BRI Year Selection button at the bottom of the page. On this page, you can select the years that you want to analyze data for. In this case, I've selected 2016 and 17. Again, make sure you click on the Proceed button. On this page, you'll enter the length in miles for the different materials in your system and the number of breaks that you've had on each of those types of materials. I'll be filling out all of the information in our example here. If you have a system that does not have one of these materials in it, simply leave both the length and the number of breaks fields for that particular material blank, and the tool will disregard it. If you're collecting multiple years worth of data, make sure that you click the Save BRI Record button in the bottom left-hand corner. This writes your system information to our database so that the data can be analyzed. If you're analyzing multiple years worth of data, you will input the data for the first year and then proceed to the second using the buttons below. If the amount of any given material in your system changes year over year, you can update that information in the specific year's data entry. Don't forget to save your data for the last record that you put in, and then click the Proceed to Reports. Your break rate analysis is presented in a dashboard format. Each specific material has a dial gauge that is scaled based on the materials you put in. At the top of the page, you'll be able to select the year of interest if you have entered data for multiple years. If you entered multiple years worth of data, you can use the Select Year of Interest tab to switch back and forth between years. Your break rate indices are presented in the form of dial gauges, one for each of the 7 listed materials, and a total system-wide BRI gauge. Again, if your BRI is less than 1, that means the break rate for that particular material or the system as a whole is lower than the US and Canadian averages. If it's higher than 1, that means it's higher than the US and Canadian averages. We've color-coded the gauges for ease of use. A BRI of 0.9 or less is colored green. BRIs between 0.9 and 2 are colored yellow, and anything above that is colored in red. Note that your dials will scale automatically for your data. Thus, in this example here, if you look at the steel example, you will see that the BRI tops out at 12.9. In this case, the break rate for steel is almost 13 times the US and Canadian national average. Please note that in this example, you will see that although the overall total BRIs is less than 1, there are individual material BRIs that are significantly higher than 1. The next set of charts compare the percent of breaks on any given material to the percent of your system that is made up by that material. In our example here, you can see that for asbestos cement, 7.1% of the main breaks are occurring on asbestos cement pipe, which makes up 11.7% of the system mains. The standout in this example is steel pipe. 21.4% of the main breaks in this sample data are occurring on steel pipe, which only makes up 1.4% of the system mains. Finally, at the bottom of the results page, you will be presented with a table that contains all of the information that was used to calculate the various break rate indices. Please note that any data you have entered will not be available after you close your browser and your session is over. Therefore, it is important that you print your results before you leave the site. If you have multiple years' worth of data, be sure to print all of them. You can click on the blue titles above each of the tables for more information about how to interpret your results. If you wish to start a new data analysis session, simply click the Start New Session button at the top right-hand corner of the page. Please note that if you do this, previously entered data will be lost to you. Thank you for watching this preview. We hope you find the tool useful. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to us at swefc@unm.edu. Thank you.